Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, and welcome back to another Monster Hunter World video. With the PC version officially out in the wild, that means many of you are finally embarking on your hunting journey for the very first time. And naturally, that also means you'll be coming up against some of the monsters that we know only too well for the very first time. A while back I kicked off a monster guide series, Monster Mastery, with the intention of making videos for some of the toughest monsters that typically act as roadblocks for new players, but I never quite got around to making all of them. However, with the PC version out and new hunters amongst us, I think it'd be a good time to revisit that. So, if you do enjoy this video and you do find it helpful and you'd like to see more of these, then don't forget to drop a like on the video and also let me know your thoughts down below. Additionally, we kicked off another PS4 Pro giveaway today. The winner of the last God of War PS4 Pro was announced on Twitter, but we have one more God of War PS4 Pro to give away, and this time we're doing it in conjunction with the Arekkz Gaming Twitch team, so click the link in the description box down below if you want to enter. But with that out of the way, let's now turn our attention to today's Monster Mastery, the apex predator of the Wildspire Waste, Diablos. Diablos are large, bipedal wyverns with powerful armor plating that covers much of their bodies. They're menacing, fiercely territorial, and are typically found lurking underground in the Wildspire Waste. They possess a pair of huge tusk-like horns, as well as a long, powerful tail with a huge studded club-like end which can swing around furiously to ward off attackers. Diablos also possess the ability to burrow underground and then launch out from beneath its target with incredible power. Definitely not something you want to be caught in. However, rather interestingly, despite their aggressive and territorial nature, Diablos are also herbivores and are known to feed on the cacti located around the desert. When setting out to fight Diablos, or any monster for that matter, it's first important to understand what you're going up against, and part of that involves learning their strengths and their weaknesses. Diablos is by far weakest to ice, having a 3-star weakness to that element, closely followed by water and dragon with 2 stars. So if you do plan to fight it with an elemental build and exploit that weakness, then ice will be your #1 priority. Additionally, when talking about abnormal status effects, Diablos is especially susceptible to paralysis, so running paralysis type weapons or using paralysis ammo will for sure help you control this monster in battle. However, outside of that, most other ailments, poison, sleep and blast, are also very effective. It's only stun that'll take a little bit longer. So definitely, if you're struggling to take down Diablos, understanding how you can better control the fight with elements and abnormal status can for sure give you more room to breathe and think in combat. However, with elemental weaknesses covered, it's then important to understand where you should be attacking. Diablos' primary weak points are the head, the chest and the wings. The head is the prime location for blunt type weapons, so hammer and hunting horn. Meanwhile, the chest is great for melee weapons, and the wings are incredibly susceptible to ranged ammo. With this in mind, if you're fighting as a team, you can spread yourself out and focus on the area you know that you will be most effective on. Sure, at times you'll have to just attack what you can, but when an opening presents itself, be sure to take full advantage of it with this knowledge. Additionally, if you're an insect glaive user, then your red extract will come from Diablos' head, orange will come from the chest, back and wings, and your white extract will come from the legs. Furthermore, when farming this monster, both horns can be broken, as too can the wings, and the tail can also be severed, giving you an additional carve during the hunt. Now, with all that knowledge in mind, you are now much better equipped to take on this beast, so let's talk about its moves. First and foremost, Diablos is fast. Despite its large size, when it starts charging, it doesn't hang around. For that reason, if you do plan to run out the way, or guard, know that while the initial startup might seem slow, the second it begins running, it won't be long before it's in your face. You can, however, use this speed to your advantage and bait it into getting stuck. Some of the rock pillars, or wild spires as they're known in the underground, can also be used to trap Diablos. If you stand by one, bait it into charging at you, and roll out the way at the last minute, Diablos can get stuck, and in doing so, this gives you a great opening to dish out some damage. Diablos also has a powerful head swing attack, where it will swipe at you with its horns, and it will do this twice, once to the left and once to the right. So if you plan to evade at the way, or block, remember you need to evade twice and account for both swings. The same also applies for the tail swipe. Sometimes if you run up behind Diablos, it'll ward you off with these tail swipes. Many a time people will forget the second one and get hit after dodging the first. So again, keep this in mind during combat. However, one of Diablos' signature moves is the burrow. It'll dig underground, burrow towards you and launch itself out of the ground. If you get caught in this, it's one of Diablos' more powerful moves, and depending on how good your armor is, this might be the end of you. Thankfully, there's a couple of ways to deal with this. First and foremost, when it burrows, you'll see the trail depicting where it's going to move, so if you have no items to deal with it, then your best bet is to put your weapon away and simply sprint away. Remember, if you're going to be caught in the attack, when it comes out of the ground, a Superman dive will save you. but keep in mind that you need to be running away from it, not towards it. The better way to deal with this, however, is by using screamer pods. If you fire a screamer pod once Diablos has finished digging, it'll force it out the ground and trap it momentarily, not only saving you from the burrow, but also giving you an opportunity for damage. Keep in mind you don't want to be too close to Diablos when it burrows, since doing this can often put you in a wind/tremor animation, and it'll be a second or so before you can regain control, which can sometimes result in Diablos launching you into the air. Screamer pods are easy enough to come by. You can farm Screamer sacks from the Drakes in the Wildspire Waste, or you can simply meld them at the Elder Melder. Additionally, it's important to note that if you've placed down a trap and Diablos burrows through it or comes up at the ground where the trap is placed, it'll also destroy it. So if you've placed a trap and it burrows, be sure that you're well away from it and also not putting it in Diablos' path. Outside of that, flash bombs are of course a great item to bring to any monster fight, since if Diablos is giving you trouble and you need room to breathe, reset and regain control of the situation, then a flash can stop it in its tracks for a few seconds. In the final area, this is more than likely where the fight will take a turn for the worse if you're new. It's a tight space, Diablos is a large monster, and not only does it burrow, but it can also launch itself out of the sandy walls. The main thing to keep in mind here is that when Diablos burrows and you don't know where it's coming from, keep mobile. Again, a well-timed Superman dive will save you, and then you'll be able to follow up with your attacks soon after. But that, my friends, is pretty much it. That's what you need to know about Diablos. Its weaknesses, how to deal with its signature moves, and some general tips for combat. Again, if you're new, just take your time. Study the monster, learn to read the moves, and you'll have it down in no time. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this and you want to see more, then let me know down below and which monster you'd like me to cover. And take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.